contrary to the very nature of life itself.
Very true. Very true. But you see it just like I do, and that's why I like the way you speak to it, though, because you just break it down and you just give it to them. You give it raw. There's no fluff, right? There's no fairy tale. There's no unicorns. Hey, this is what it is, and hey, 1 + 1 is 2. It doesn't matter, how you think about it, whatever. Facts and history have shown if you put these two numbers together, this is what you come up with. And so you put it right, again, you put the ownership right back on the individual, so no one can play the blame game. So when they're dealing with you and talking with you and getting coaching and motivation from you, they can't play the blame game because you tell them straight up from the word go, this is what this is. You're not pretending, you're not playing, you're not sugarcoating, you're just giving it raw. And I think that has to be even more appreciated in the realm of everybody, hustling and giving you just some pie in the sky.
Yeah, brother. Well, to thy own self be true. That's
yes,
a
sir.
phrase that is written in the pyramids of Egypt. It didn't come from Shakespeare or whoever they claim it came from.
That's what they said, though.
That came from our ancient brothers and sisters, our fathers in Egypt. So to thy own self be true, brother. And we just have to be true to ourselves, and that's being true to myself. I heard a phrase said many, many years ago, and just resonated with my spirit, and I've held on to it ever since that time. And that phrase is, if you want to have a friend, you got to first be a friend.
Right on.
So I pride myself in trying to be the type of coach, trainer, mentor that I never had, right? So therefore, I try to be that to other people. I wish I had somebody like me,
right?
To kick me in the butt, to tell me the truth, right? I wish I did. So therefore, I strive real hard to be that to other people, and that message is not always well welcomed, but it's always needed.
This is true. I called it excuse me. I called it years ago the wussification of America, right? Because when you just said, and you just proved my point, when you come in with solid facts and solid information, but it's not wrapped up in a little pretty bow, I say it in a nice little soft, subtle way, it gets rejected, right? But I think people need that more of that. And then now you deal with this harsh reality, not what you feel, but deal with the reality that's in front of you. And then now you can make an educated decision, not on feelings, but on facts. Yeah, right. Because intelligent people don't make decisions based on emotion. No, you can't. That's a sign of an immature individual. And that's most of us, really. I mean, that's why I've been on this journey so long, because I'm trying to be the best human being I can be, and first understanding what's required for that, and then to implement it and make it a lifestyle, not knowledge, make it a lifestyle and live it on a daily basis. And that's where the challenge is, because we're fighting against an environment that is contrary to that itself, So yeah, brother, it's something. And that's why, once again, wealth is available to everybody, but everybody don't attain it, because it's what you have to go through. And better yet, who you have to become. That's what's going to determine what we achieve in life. Mm-hmm. Solid, man. I mean, it's like, what don't you do, man? You motivation, consultant, counselor, teacher, educator, real estate investor. I was watching your stuff earlier too. Stockbroker. I mean, you got a cape in your trunk, don't you?
Well, brother, it's like this, when you're trying to be something.
Yes, sir.
Of relevance, then the journey that God puts you on, you cover a lot of territory.
Yeah, you said a lot right there.
Yeah, because you're always in motion. You're living a life of discovery. Mm-hmm. Right? But when you're not living a life of discovery, you don't do much of anything of any significance other than that what's required to pay your bills.
Just enough.
Yeah. So, brother, so I've been blessed by God to wherever it came from, but to have that given to me, and I welcome it with open arms, and I just try to share it with as many people of us that I can, because I know what we're missing as a people.
Me too, man.
I know what we're missing, and it's nothing that's more valuable and more satisfying to know what you're missing.
Know your why.
Because a lot of us don't know what we're missing.
You're right, man. You're right. And I said this on a previous show. I think that's what happens that keeps a lot of people angry, because they do not know their why. They don't know why they get up every day and do what they do. They don't know their purpose. They don't know their position in this thing. I say this, we're kings and queens, but we're walking around like we're the court jester, right? Because we don't know our position. We haven't understood what our position is. And that's why when I look and I see youth being angry, or even older people being angry, I don't just judge them. I say, you know what? They just don't know the position just yet. And if you sit down and talk to them for a few minutes, you'll understand, oh, yeah, they're not there yet. But it's okay, because that was what Malcolm said before, right? Hey, there was once upon a time that we didn't know what we know now. So how we come to people, we got to be careful how we come to them and come to them in love rather than condemnation. So I appreciate your platform. Again, you're being used. See, when you're being used by God or being used by people, it's two different feelings. And so you're allowing your creator to use you, man. And the feeling you're getting from that is absolutely euphoria, because you don't feel like you're working. You feel like you're working for your creator, and you actually getting results, man. And I appreciate you for that, and I applaud you for that. And I can't thank you enough for you willing to walk into your position. Because a lot of people, man, to get that, they won't do it. They won't do it. Man, our people this. Man, I'm tired of our people. Man, I don't want to do that. So I appreciate you for you done heard it, man. You heard it. It's hard. All people hard on each other. That Willie Lynch syndrome, So I appreciate you for stepping beyond that, man, and just not listening to that noise and being who you're supposed to be. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. I appreciate those words, and appreciate you having your talk program, your podcast, and I just recently launched a podcast. But everybody needs a platform.
Yes.
Everybody needs a platform. So you provide that platform, and we as a people, we can't have too much of the right information.
No, sir.
Out there, especially when there's so much foolishness being pumped.
Oh my gosh.
So we can't have too many talk about it, but podcast. That's the reason why I launched my podcast. Not that I don't have enough to do, but because I can't do enough.
True.
So therefore, I came out with that and then there's another platform called Anchor, which is another platform. But there's 7 billion people on the planet Earth, and with the technology and social media and podcasts and stuff, you can literally reach everybody that's reachable anywhere on the planet. So that requires a lot of push. And that requires a lot of effort.
It's a lot of persistence. It has to be persistence. I started this in November. I started it myself. I started with some other stations before, but it just didn't work out. So I decided, you know what? I'm building myself. Just do it myself, right? And I did it since I started November last year as far as this particular platform. 123 shows later, man. Right?
Yeah.
And just pushing forward. Now, think about a radio may not be a household name, but at the same time, I'm steady building, and I'm steady adding to it, and I'm adding value, and I'm adding people on the show and interviewing and speaking with people that also adds that value, right?
Right. Brother, we have to, I heard a gentleman I've been following intensely close for the last 6 months or so. His name is Gary Vaynerchuk. But, kind of like the same thing Damon Dash said on the Breakfast Club. Mm-hmm. Gary V said, it's about legacy, not currency. He said, he can't wait until his grandchildren will be able to look at his videos, and see what his grandfather has done. See, when you think like that, brother,
yes, sir.
Then it doesn't matter if it becomes a household name, right?
It's
now
true.
You'll have 100 plus, 200 plus shows that your grandchildren can look at and listen to and say, "Wow, Pops was on it, man."
Yeah,
Pops was on it. He might not have became a millionaire, But he didn't lay down and roll over and talk about I paid the bills. He had a dream, and he pursued his dream. You know, and that's how future generations who know their history can pick up where another family member has left off.
True.
Because they made aware of their history. They know that, you know, their father, their grandfather. I mean, that's how the Kennedys and the Rockefellers and all the people that we talk about, right? That's how, I mean, they're lineage, their family lineage. So they know what to expect from them. So we have to do the same, brother. We have to do the same. And we just have to do all we can do, each one of us, to make that happen, you know, to make that happen.
You're right. It has to be a community effort. You know, we say, am I my brother's keeper? Yes. You know, I want for your brother what you want for yourself. I want for your sister what you want for yourself. And I believe that I'm having conversations and speaking to more and more people that are thinking that way, thinking more community. Right? Thinking more, you know, hey, what can we do to help one another? And as the saying goes, if you help enough people, you know, good things will come your way. So I'm happy and proud and grateful to be around more and more people that are having that particular mindset, you know, of, you know, flowing, being a channel of blessings, right? And just letting them flow through and just giving information and love and caring for our brothers and our sisters out here, because we're really hurting out here, man. There's a lot of people out here that are hurting, and a lot of people have a story. Everyone has a story. And so we have to be mindful how we treat one another, and hello, hi, how are you? That can mean a lot to someone. So I would just encourage us all just to continue to just get outside of ourselves sometime and just really, you know, think about the other person, what the other person is going through, you know, and really care about our people, because, again, we really need it. I mean, we already know what the problems are. We sit and talk about that all day long. So, I appreciate and applaud you for coming up with some real-life solutions out here.
Well, you know, brother, only real solution going to solve real problems.
No doubt. No doubt.
But the thing about it is, brother, we have to be courageous enough to identify that we have real problems.
Yeah. Just be honest.
Yeah.
It's an honest conversation. You have to just be honest with yourself. There's a problem. Then we got to fix it.
Yeah, and then have the courage to address it, to deal with it, you know. And it's all about the solution, brother. We spend enough time talking about the problem.
Exactly.
You know, we spend enough time worrying about what Donald Trump going to do.
Phooey. Solutions.
You know? Yeah.
What you gonna do?
Yeah, right.
Man, I lost a fan when me and my co-host did a show. I first came out when Donald Trump got elected. Because, matter of fact, I won like $20 from my coworker because I bet him 6 months ago before the election that Donald Trump was going to get elected. And he was like, well, how do you know? I said, I just know, brother. I just know. Just trust me. It's going to happen. So anyway, when he got elected, me and my co-host, we did a show, whatever, about, you know, now what you going to do, this, that, and the third. And a listener was listening to the show, and she was like, you guys are being so nonchalant about this Donald Trump thing, and if it wasn't for the efforts that Martin Luther King them did and all that, you wouldn't have a show and all that. I'm like, wait a minute. Hold up. All I'm simply saying is that what we gonna do. That's all I'm saying. Bottom line, it don't matter who's in the White House, Black House, Red House, or your house. What we gonna do. That's the thing.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. You know, that's that mainstream thinking. You know, that's that herd mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we didn't get this far as a people with the herd mentality.
Mm-mm.
You know, I adopted a phrase that I heard. It's called sheeple.
Yes, sir. Sheeple. Yep.
Yeah, sheeple.
Just going
and they're people, but being herded like sheep.
Just like sheep.
So if you're nursing off mainstream data, information, news, then you're a sheeple. Because that's what that mainstream stuff is for, is to guide people in a certain direction that the powers that be want us to go. So, you know, brother, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, the thing that's got us this far through the worst treatment of any people in the annals of history ever been treated. Nobody, no group of people by the millions have ever been treated like us.
None.
But the thing that has got us this far is not a president, is not a governor,
say it,
is not a mayor. The thing that has gotten us thus far is our confidence in ourselves and our belief in God.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
that's what's going to get us through